Hey guys, how's it going? Blueset here. Welcome to a brand new episode of Blueset's Adventures in Minecraft. This is episode 17 and 18. And what are we going to be doing today? Well, spoilers for you guys. I've already did the redstone. Yes, I already did the redstone and all that, and it is sad. Why am I holding diamonds? Why is this here? Because I did the redstone. So we're going to be doing the redstone here in my test world. And yes, this is a good test world. Alright. First switch to prevent monsters from spawning in this test world. Just as said, to peaceful. I don't want monsters from spawning. Now then, what are we going to be doing today? Well, first switch, we're going to need to have our setup. First switch, we're going to have our iron pressure plate here, which is the heavy. You're going to need iron pressure plate and, of course, the following materials. A piston of your choice, either sticky pistons or regular pistons. Sticky pistons or regular pistons, it doesn't matter. But if you are going to be using regular pistons, I suggest either gravel or sand. Sand is easily acquired, and so is gravel. Now then, when we look to the side here, we see that this block, where I'm pointing at right now, is the pressure plate area. Now then, if we do remove a block from underneath it and do a Control Q, it still generates power towards it because it's connected directly to the block. So it doesn't matter if there's a block there or not. I want to put a block there because I want to. Anyways, oh, and we're also going to need a button. Yes, building materials of your choice. In this case, using redstone, we're also going to be using an item frame for this. So if this does turn out to be a 1 hour video, that's because that's 2 episodes combined. Now then, here's how we're going to actually do this system here. We're going to need to have an indicator if we have enough monsters here. For this purpose, we're going to actually go 12 out from this comparator. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's 12. And we'll put a repeater right on the end and fill in this line with redstone dust. We're also going to need to put 4 indents very early in the system. We're also going to need to do our sticky pistons here. The reason for this, the reason why we are needing to do this, is because this is our bypass lane. Yes, we're going to need to put in a bypass lane. First which, in order to actually do so, we're going to need repeaters pointing towards where the pistons are at. In this case, sticky pistons, sand or gravel. And we're going to put our blocks on there. Now, this is our bypass lane. Now, before you do put in the rest, let's put repeaters down facing towards the sticky pistons. Now then, once we do that, let's go ahead and put in the line towards equal to this, plus a bit more. And yeah, put a repeater at the end here and put dust to this line. Now we're going to test this real quickly here. Now then, we can do this with, okay, that works. And if we were to do this, it lights up. Alright. Oh. Okay. Yes, it does work. It allows the pistons to go up. That's only because there's a issue with that. Okay, so we do have this, and we're going to need to do a separate lane for all of them. We don't want them all connected. Alright, we're also going to need to have a repeater connected to it. Now, in order to actually have our crusher system, we're going to set up our crusher lane. Alright, just a simple little crusher lane, nothing special. Now then, we're going to place our button here, because it's very convenient. You can, stand here, move up, and, sorry, kill the, the blazes going, I'm going to kill you. After they. Next, we're going to need to set up our crusher lane. In this case, our crusher system. We're going to do this very simple. We're going to have a torch at the end, as we will see. It turns it off very nicely. And we're going to need to use an inversion of it. As you can see, very easy to work with. We're going to have our line here, and then we're going to be doing our redstone mechanics. We're going to have a torch on the side. And we're going to have a piece of redstone going into here. Oh, I'm sorry. Into here. Okay. We need to have a gap here for obvious reasons. And we're going to need to have a comparator facing into here and a repeater into here. Next, we're going to actually do our hopper clock. Okay, so we got our hoppers facing into each other. Okay, next we're going to be doing our hopper clock. First switch, small little change. It's supposed to be torch, block, and then block up. And then we have our system here. Now we're also going to need a block on the side, right in front of the repeater, with redstone dust towards it, as we will do and demonstrate. Okay, there's not enough items in there. Okay. Well, this is where the diamonds come in. Now, we're going to need a input here. We're going to need just enough to kill, or not kill, but to weaken them severely. 12 should suffice. Okay, so they're out in there. And then when we hit the button, as you can see, turns on everything and sets a power through it. That works easy peasy, right? Well, it should. Okay, now we're going to do a comparator and a repeater. Now, this is important because we can set up the crusher lane to accept signals very easily. It doesn't take much. In fact, hooking up to the crusher like that, we should start to see this work like now. As you can see, and okay, there we go. Just had to wait for the items to get through. Yes, 12 is a bit long. Some people do say 11, but this works just well. And we are also going to bring this forward up to here, like so. Also to adding in a bit more line to it. Next, we are going to be doing our indicator system. Now, we're going to need to have an indicator system. This is where the more complicated redstone comes in. We're definitely going to need it. In fact, have a repeater on this end just so that when you do turn on the system, you don't have a dying system. In fact, it barely continues on that way. See, a lot more powerful with that. Alright, now probably you're not going to be able to do this. We're only going to need the button once. We are going to need that, and we are going to need redstone lamps, yes. This is by far going to be getting to the more complicated redstone mechanics. Or not really complicated mechanics, but what am I trying to say, Blue? What I'm trying to say is that this is by far, can be difficult to explain. As you can tell, I'm having difficulty explaining it. Ha ha ha. Okay. Yes. We need a way for this system to actually tell us we have monsters in the environment that actually is there. Next thing we're going to need to do is actually put in a light indicator system. This indicator system is going to be important. We're going to actually have a redstone following up to here. We're going to put a repeater on this end, and we're going to also put a repeater here, so that way when we do get the right amount of monsters in the zone, we can actually have a light up. In fact, if we were to do a false indication, we get just enough power, reaches all the way around and up to here. Very perfect. And in fact, just to demonstrate, it's not going to reach far enough. So having it at this point will allow you to show that you have, you know, when you're standing here or coming back down, in this case a blaze farm, you can easily see that, hey, you have the appropriate amount of monsters here for your system. Alrighty, the next thing we need to do is make the RS NOR latch. What is an RS NOR latch and how to make it? Well, first of which, an RS NOR latch basically is, is basically a system which we would need to make anyways. I know, how unamusing. No, what it means is that we need to be able to make the system proper. In order to make the RS NOR latch, well, okay, let me explain why we need it. We need the RS NOR latch because we need to have a light indicator for, for this specific little light. That's why we need to have it. We need to have a separate light indicator just for that little circuit, okay? So what we're going to need to do is have two torches down like this, and we are going to make an RS NOR latch. Now we can actually easily put in just one item. In this case, we're just going to put it right here. This is the off indicator, as you can tell from the redstone. If we actually were to toggle it, it will move said item from this hopper to this hopper. Now, because of this, we need to have a system that actually will recognize that we have an item in there. So we need a comparator on this source, which would be our output, and a repeater set to it. Put it like this, and we there you are. And voila. I was wondering what happened to my redstone, and it turns out, yeah, it's over there. Ooh. What is my game trying to load? There is nothing to load. Oh, it's probably all the redstone that's happening. Alright, well, let's hurry things up. Now, in this setup, I actually have it in my world that we actually are causing a bit of a ladder to happen. As such. Actually, I'm thinking of something else, ain't I? Yeah. Yes, we're going to have the indicators. Let's see here. We need to have an indicator right there. Right there, yeah. Because if we were to have it like like this. Okay, that will work. I'm just trying to plan because I have done this before in my world. I mean, it's a lot easier just to do this little redstone bit. Okay, that doesn't turn on. Good. Good. Okay, because of this, we need to have it kept on this level here. All right. Okay. Now, yes, there is a lot of redstone being strewn about. Now then, I'm going to cause a pulse to happen. So let's head over to here. Okay. Not enough power, I would say. Just enough to reach there. But that's more than enough. Okay, we can't do that. Oh wait, yes we can. Yes. Okay, that's good. That's good. Alright, so having a repeater right on that spot, it just leaves just enough redstone power to turn on that switch. Now we're going to need to have a AT flip-flop. Now this is going to be the reset function for the system. Now here's how we're going to do it. We're going to have it like so, and we're going to need to have an indicator, or at least a system that actually can power the system here. So what I'm going to do is grab a lever and put it right here. Actually, no. Yeah, right here. Right here will be fine. Okay. And continue on this way, leading to here, and it's going to go into a block. Like so, and we're going to need to make... Now this RS NOR latch, yes, has a torch. Like, oops. So, okay. Just trying to remember, top of my head. Actually, we need a repeater in this. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, here's our T flip-flop. This is what we actually need to have. What I showed earlier, I was wrong. But this is actually what we do need to have. Now this is actually perfect because it's directly below the system we need to have. Now then, we're going to need to have a... Uh-oh. There we go. An indicator here, and we actually are going to pillar up this way. Very simple, because it turns out the repeater, once powered, would actually send a signal through a block powering it. And it could go in like that. There's no interconnection like so. So if we were to turn it on like so, we have our system turn on. So, since it will turn a pulse... Uh-oh, I must have done something wrong. Hang on. Is it a few ticks in between? I might have done something wrong. Okay, here is our T flip-flop with the crushed indicator system. Now, just to let you all know, we need to have this specific light here because it's to let us know that we actually hit the crushed system and we don't need to hit it anymore. And of course, there's nothing preventing you from turning it off to begin with. In fact, just thought an idea. Let's just put the glass up higher. Alright, so we need a way to actually have the system work. This is our T flip-flop, and I forgot to set it to 4 ticks. You know, the maximum of ticks. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. We have this block here to prevent cross connecting circuits. So we send a false signal showing we have max amount, and then we turn it off. And as quickly as that was, it sent a pulse through the block into this redstone and pulsed the torch off, causing the item, this piece of redstone, to flow from this hopper to hit this hopper, turning the system off. So this is the RS NOR latch in work. You know, in function, works proper. And it works pretty well. But there's an issue. What if you want to crush the monsters that's in here? Say, oh, let's grab a creeper, okay? Oh, that's right, because I said to peaceful. Ah ha ha ha. Okay, so we want to kill the creeper, but there's not enough in the system. And of course, if we did this, crush indicator is on, as intended, but we don't want it on. And of course, some nice stuff. So we don't want that on to begin with. So we have to do the force reset. But there is actually a way to make it work as intended. You know, have you be able to do all this. And this is the emergency shut-off system. Now this shut-off system is intended to work as function. In fact, we're going to need to have a repeater on this point. This is the crush line. We need a repeater right here because we need to pretty much brick the redstone, the repeater. It works very well because when we have a full amount, it unbricks it, and you can hit the crush setting and turning on the crush light. When you don't have enough, it bricks this line, but you can still use the crush function as we show here. This specific point is a necessary reset, but there is a downside to it. If your minimum amount of monsters to kill pretty much ends up being not enough, or it unchecks the system, guess what's going to happen? It's going to turn it on during mid-pulse. So that's the downside to this. But hopefully you should have a system worth saying, oh, you don't need that much. You don't need that much. You're fine with it as is. Well, that's fine and dandy, but you're going to need something else. Yeah, this is true. So we got everything taken care of, but we need to have an emergency shunt to put in. And what type of shunt am I talking about? Well, this type of shunt, we need to actually have a way to prevent more monsters from entering the system when the indicator is on. When we actually have the crush on. Now we're going to have two separate shut-off valves, one preventing monsters from going in, and one to prevent more monsters from getting through. Now here's what I'm talking about. We need to have a way for this to get power. And now the best way to do it is to get power from the RS NOR latch that is here. Or is this a T flip-flop? No, This is the RS-NOR latch. Okay. Yes, this is the RS-NOR latch, and we're going to need to have a... like so. Okay, I just saw the complications. Okay. Repeater. Okay. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that everything was right in my head. So basically, we have the sun setting on us. Okay. Annoying. Anyways, we have the system set up. So basically, if we were to say full indication, oops, full indication, okay, yeah, full indication system is set, ready to go, you know, it'll turn off, and there you go. This will prevent more monsters from getting into the killing zone. And this actually is important to have this little function in. Now, we still have the full indicator light, so turning it off or allow the piston to go through. This one is a necessary. This specific one, you need to have a sticky piston just to hide the piston. You can use regular pistons to crush, like crush at here and block off at here. Just do note that if you do happen to have a wither skeleton in here, this will actually kill the wither skeleton. That's only if the crush indicator is turned on. So this seems to be about right, isn't it? You know, it's complete and everything, but we have the bypass down here. Well, this is what I mean by having a more complicated redstone circuit. We're going to need to do something that actually will work. So what we're going to need to do is a bit of a change of layout. Alrighty then. Bit of a change of scenery. Basically, the only thing we needed to do is move this line over from its original position, facing that way, up over this way by laddering up. And of course having it up here, because we don't want to cross here. That's a no-no. But of course, just to have enough power to just give this some light, put a repeater on this point, you know, just to empower it more to give more light here. Alrighty. Next, we're going to do our dial system. This is actually a bit important. You can actually make it as close as possible as you want. Just be careful if you're too close. In fact, wouldn't be a bad idea. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Alrighty, so we have the system here. It's actually a lot closer, but this is supposed to be a 9x9 room. See, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But there's a little access way. In fact, just to let you know. And that's sun. Anyways, so this is actually a lot close. In fact, so close it actually might be touching on the borderline of you know, being too friendly. So what we're going to do is, because of this dial system, you know, great design from the original designer for this, is you incorporate the system to actually have repeaters upon repeaters with torches on top of each other. Very, very simple system. In fact, just to top it all off, redstone on top of that. Now for this, we're only going to need to have 4 because of the 4 bypass pistons we have. So basically, just only 4, which we would need as such. And of course, we don't need torches on that. We're going to have repeaters. We're leaving the repeaters as is in this design. You know, Very, very simple design. And of course, torches at the end. And before anything else, let's put blocks on top. And we are going to need to put repeaters here. And we're going to follow the same suit, which is to put blocks over the repeaters, redstone over those blocks, and then we're going to put torches on top of that. Now, there are many ways of actually going through with this, do a step ladder. In this case, since we do have sticky pistons at our disposal in this build, why not just use sticky pistons? And we're going to need another material for this. This is basically very optional. You can do just a simple ladder down, and there you go. Can have it right, let's say, right there, because you're being lit by that, so no. Redstone blocks, because they do give power to the circuitry. In fact, let's see here. Yes. Now, when the redstone blocks do come down, they're going to want to have power, give power to anything. This is by far, as I found out, as a very, very simple design. Works very well no matter what. And the selectors actually don't cause a issue with how many is actually already activated. What they do is pretty much just, it's a selector system. It allows a selection of one piston row at a time. Very, very efficient on management, but this is just a nightmare. You pretty much are using, going to be doing a lot of redstoning. In fact, here's the trial and error. We need to actually find out. Okay, we heard that, so that works. There's our first bypass. Alrighty, that turns that off. So here's the second one. Okay, that turns that on. No issue with that. Okay. Okay, that turns that on, which is, oops, very good. And this is where the issue comes in, is this specific one. This one needs to have a repeater just to empower the line. So have a repeater there, there you go. That seems to be about right. Now we're going to need to have an indicator system. This one is easy. We need to have an indicator system just to let us know that we have a trying to think, and yes, I do apologize for bodily sounds. We're going to need to have a system that actually will let us know up top and turn off the pistons at the same time. So actually, the next step I'm going to show you is actually in the main world that I'm actually currently on. That's right, the main world of Adventures in Blueset. So let me hop on over there and show you some alterations that I've done and further proving of this point of fact, or not point of fact, proof of concept. So we'll be right back. Alrighty, here we are, my main world. I had to turn off hostility because a ghast spun in here and blew up a portion of my redstone. I swear they're floating creepers. Okay, so here is the system that we are using. This is the indicator system, and we do have it set up to indicate certain things. Now, I have no problem whatsoever. Because of my lighting choices, I had to do a bit of a bypass, and this is a bit of an annoyance. And I didn't do the alterations as I shown because I discovered this is actually a lot more efficient this way. This is actually the emergency reset system. Apparently, the way how I'm collecting blazes, it's actually causing havoc with everything, and it's actually causing blazes to die by the crusher. So this is the automatic shut-off system. Basically, it goes into the T flip-flop, or okay, I'm sorry, the RS NOR latch, which is connected by the T flip-flop, and it goes all the way over to the crusher shunt, which is basically the emergency, or not emergency, it's just the cutoff line. Now this is where we actually are at. Okay, I don't have like, God, remember that. This is where we're at. We have the, oh, okay, hang on. Okay. Alright, here we go. Of course, our crusher indicator. And jump. Okay, basically, we have just a regular line going into here. You don't need a repeater, but it's just a regular redstone line will be fine. It'll turn it off. Jump up here, and basically, this is where my shut-off system should be. And in fact, I have it connected to this. That's where the redstone mix-up comes in. Anyways, we have the indicators going over to this point. It's a lot of redstone in here, but it's not much of where you can actually say, oh, it's not netted. It's not needed. Actually, all of this is needed. Basically, we have our torch pillar going all the way up, and I will show you guys soon. But yeah, this is the shut-off point. It's actually triggered by the mob indicator line. And if we were to go up, let me go ahead and go on up here. Yes, we have some very nice system. Basically, this is the continuation of said portion. And the way how I did is, after tinkering about, I decided to have a indicator system to have it right here. Basically, it is another shunt, but this time it's the collection shunt. Basically, it allows a stoppage. It's basically what you call a drain blocker, a stopper. So we have a stopper here, and we also have a hopper clock, but this is actually very nicely done, because as I can show you, see, music notes, note blocks. Basically, how to actually get a note block in the game is basically you get all the wood line up where you're making a chest, but instead of leaving the middle spot out, put a piece of redstone in the middle, and this is where you get your note block. Very nice. And of course, use dirt because it actually does work. So yeah. So this works. In fact, it's pretty loud when you have the certain volumes turned up. You can actually hear it even down there, which is actually pretty good. But this is the AFK spot. Lots of lighting here. And that's pretty much about it. That's all the redstone to it. I probably will be doing a bit of a refit of certain environments. Definitely a refit of this. This is by far very, very inefficient. Very inefficient redstone. I will admit that. I could have done better. In fact, this cage is too small. Yeah, you heard me. This is too small. So I gotta go and redo all this in a later episode. But for now, this is about it. So this is pretty much about it. And in fact, if I were to turn it on, turn Oh, hey, that's right. I don't have the proper redstone. Damn. Oh, well. I can't turn it on right now, so sorry. Anyways, that's pretty much about it. You know, I mean, pretty much. I mean, it works proper. It's just there's no crusher turn on. So crusher doesn't work because I don't have the redstone for it. Damn. Gassed. But yes, thank you for watching episode 17 and 18 special. Join me for episode 19, which is next week, as we will go and pretty much find ourselves a witch hut. That's right, a witch farm. I know, right? A witch farm. Yay, Blueset, you're doing a witch farm. Well, it's about damn time. Let's put it that way. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.